This week is National News Literacy Week, which sounds kind of academic, but really what that means is this is a week to make sure the news we read, watch, and hear is actually keeping us informed. And every year, more Americans say they're getting their news from social media. Unfortunately, verifying what's real and what's made up on social media is often kind of a DIY situation. And that gets especially tricky in an age when it's so easy to manipulate images and video. So, for example, news literacy on social media might mean knowing whether that viral image of a shark swimming down the interstate after a big hurricane is real or just a recycled Photoshop from years and years ago. And for the record, yeah, this is an old super fake image. It's not just images though. Faking videos has gotten eerily sophisticated.
Now, you see, I would never say these things, at least not in a public address, but someone else would. Someone like Jordan Peele. This is a dangerous time.
That video is actually from a few years ago, and it's what we call a deep fake. And while it was actually Jordan Peele speaking there and not the former president, it shows how far we've come in being able to manipulate videos to appear as something they're not. The digital altering of images and video can go beyond pranks and actually change the way people see an issue or event. While not as high-tech as a deepfake video, something like this happened after the massive 2020 port explosion in Beirut. Someone had edited a missile into one of the grainy cell phone videos to make it look like the accidental explosion was actually an attack. A frame-by-frame examination of the video revealed it to be just a sloppy Photoshop job. All of this is to say that when you see something online that isn't already verified by a source you trust, then your best bet is to take a minute and double-check yourself if it actually is real or if it's someone's idea of a joke. So, to talk about how you can verify that image and video are indeed the real deal, we're bringing in our resident verification expert and a guy who spends a lot of time sifting through the chaos of the internet, Jake Godin. Jake is somebody who has done some award-winning reporting involving verifying and locating images for our Newsy Bellingcat series. Jake, how's it going, man?
It's going pretty well. How about you?
Oh, things are good, man. I always love the moments we get a chance to do some detective work or talk about how it is you do what you do. So this is a treat for me. You've seen some fake images in your day, plenty of them. What kinds of stuff are we talking about here?
So, I mean, there's a lot, especially with how easily things can be manipulated these days with videos or with images especially, but even videos, which is kind of wild, but it's a little bit more rare. But you can see everything from people using like fake avatars on Twitter, or people can erase things from photos. They can just use there's tools out there now that allow you to erase a person or an object from a photo and make it look like, with a fairly a nice amount of confidence, that it actually looks like it wasn't supposed to be there.
I feel like there's a spectrum here. And on one end, you have, me maybe being able to remove myself, not me, because I don't have the Photoshop skills, me maybe being able to remove myself from like a really embarrassing photo, to things that are potentially a bit more damaging and a bit more detrimental. What can you give us an example, something that really kind of illustrates what it is that you're talking about?
Every time there's a hurricane, there's this photo of sharks on the interstate that comes out, and a simple reverse image search will show, oh, this photo is old. And in fact, it's not even real, it's Photoshop. But then there's other stuff like there's a Twitter account and he's tweeting out information, news, and he's like, I got an inside source here. And he looks like an official guy, and he's got this, this uniform on, nice suit. And he's got the American flag in the background. It looks like an official government photo. And he's got 10,000 followers, 11,000 followers. And if you go to his photo, you can look at it and it looks a little off. And then if you use something called a reverse image search, which is a fairly easy process, in some browsers like Chrome, you can just right click and hit do reverse image search. If you do that with this guy's photo, you'll find that there's another photo, an official government photo from like this, Border Patrol guy. Same tie, same suit, just slightly off. And you can tell if you compare the two that this Twitter account just used this guy's photo, changed out the face, and is like masquerading as some like guy in the know on Twitter. And I mean, it's based off the amount of people that follow him. Some people might actually take what he says seriously. If he's using this fake image that he created or that somebody else created, you already have kind of like a head start on realizing that this guy is not really a credible news source. He's not a credible source for finding out any information.
A bit earlier, you mentioned a reverse image search. This is something that, you were probably the one who showed me how to do this, but for folks who've never done this before, what can you tell us about, reverse image searches and other tools people can use to help spot and identify, misinformation floating around on the web?
Right. So reverse image search, or RIS, is like a very basic tool, but it's also super useful for kind of figuring out if an image is real or figuring out if an image has been shared before. And essentially, it works through search engines like Google, or Google or Bing, or there's this Russian one called Yandex. Those search engines have the ability to look at an image that you feed into it and see other stuff that matches that image elsewhere on the internet. It's not always 100% accurate, but generally, if an image has been shared somewhere and you reverse image search it, you'll find other instances where it's been used. And it's kind of like a Google search. And that can be useful because if you reverse image search, say, that shark picture that's shows these sharks swimming on the interstate, you'll find that it was shared in 2018 and 2017 and 2016. And you'll find that it's been shared before, so it's old. And then you might even find that people are debunking, saying, oh, this isn't real. And they'll share they'll show how it wasn't real or something like that.
Folks, I don't know if you too will become an award-winning reporter like Jake Godin, but hopefully these tools can help you spot and identify misinformation. Jake Godin, thank you so much for joining us, man.
Thank you for having me.